Hello and welcome. We are jumping right into the deep end today. We received a transcript of a video commentary, and it's all about the legal battle between Turning Point USA and Candace Owens.
It's messy. We're talking cease and desist letters, defamation, the works.
Yeah, and we're going to get straight into the feedback.
Let's do it.
So reading this script, the first thing that really hits you, is just the language. It's so intense.
Right.
The author is clearly trying to use documentary evidence to make their case, and this is a huge, but all the ad hominem attacks and, the super emotional language, it's just fighting against the evidence.
That is the core tension of the whole piece, isn't it? You've got these serious legal documents on one hand.
Yeah.
And then on the other, you have what sounds like playground name-calling. And the weakness there is just, it's so stark. The script keeps stopping the flow of facts to just, slap these derogatory labels.
Things like sicko fans, dingbat. I think I saw lying, narcissistic, psychopathic scumbag.
And the constant cult references, yeah.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate for just a second here.
Go for it.
Isn't that just the genre? This is YouTube commentary. The people clicking on this probably already dislike Candace Owens. Doesn't that kind of language, that red meat, actually keep them hooked?
See, that's the temptation, right?
Yeah.
It feels good to type scumbag when you're fired up. It feels like you're scoring a point. But here's the problem. It just lowers the ceiling on who you can persuade. If your goal is just to high-five the people who already agree with you, then sure, call them sickos. But this script is trying to prove a legal point. It wants to show Turning Point is in the right, legally.
And a name-calling gets in the way of that.
The second you say Kenny Owens, Hoff, and Colt, you're signaling to anyone who's neutral, anyone who might actually be on the fence, that this isn't an investigation. It's a hit piece.
So it's about authority. The moment you go there, you give up the high ground.
You totally degrade your own authority. It makes it feel like a rant, not a reasoned analysis. And it just distracts from the really solid legal points about the letters. It's like when you're holding a smoking gun, you don't need to scream at the jury.
You just show them the gun. I like that.
Exactly.
So the suggestion here is to, adopt a more clinical, almost investigative tone?
Yeah, let the absurdity of their arguments speak for itself. You don't need to label the people making them. Let the evidence be the weapon, not the adjective.
Okay, so let's get concrete. There's that line, members of the Kenny Owens fan cult that have been spreading lies.
Right. It's charged, it's messy, and it sounds a little desperate.
So how do you clean that up? But keep the punch.
You shift to legal language. You say something like, defendants who have allegedly published defamatory statements regarding Turning Point USA.
Oh, see, that actually sounds way more intimidating.
Doesn't it?
Defendants who have allegedly published defamatory statements. It sounds like a lawyer just walked into the room.
It implies consequences. Calling someone a sicko implies you're just mad online. Calling them a defendant implies you're about to take their house. It's so much stronger because it's grounded in reality.
Okay, there's another part that really bugged me. It's where the narrator starts mocking the other side's logic.
Oh, yeah?
They say their logic is truly astounding, and then do this whole mock dialogue thing. Oh, Turning Point is the big bad wolf. It just goes on and on.
The mocking voice. It's super common, but man, is it exhausting to listen to. It just feels childish. And honestly, it's a bit of a straw man.
So instead of the silly voice, what's the better move?
You just contrast the claims, strip out all the sarcasm, and just lay the contradiction out for everyone to see. Something like, critics demanded a response. When Turning Point issued a legal response, those same critics reframed it as an attempt to silence them.
That highlights the hypocrisy way better than calling them crazy.
It's analytical instead of emotional.
Yeah, it moves it from, look at these idiots, to look at this contradiction.
And that's the whole shift we're looking for.
Okay, I want to bridge this to our second point, because it's not just the insults getting in the way. It's the actual structure, the way the evidence is read.
Structure and flow.
The reading of the main piece of evidence, the cease and desist letter, is so fragmented with commentary, it's almost impossible for the listener to follow.
This is a huge friction point. I call it the interruption tax. The narrator starts reading the letter, but they can't help but break in with crazy, or oh dear, or see, they're laying out the facts.
I really noticed it with the numbers. The letter is trying to explain the whole ghost employees thing, right?
Right, with the head count.
Yeah, and the narrator puts a wow or a crazy right in the middle of the numbers.
And from a cognitive standpoint, that's a disaster. The brain just can't hold abstract data like
80 employees in FY23 in its working memory. The second you interrupt that with an emotional outburst, the brain drops the number to process the emotion.
So the listener literally stops hearing the facts because they're processing the joke.
Exactly. It's like you're forcing them to switch between math mode and drama mode.
And the result is nobody actually remembers the employee count, which is the whole point of reading the letter in the first place.
Right. So the suggestion here is to use what I call a block and bridge structure.
Okay, block and bridge. Walk me through that.
It's simple, but you have to be disciplined. You read the key part of the legal document clearly, and this is the important part, uninterrupted. That's the block.
Establish the baseline facts.
Yes. Then, and only then, you follow up with your analysis. That's the bridge to your counterargument.
Let's try it. The script currently reads something like, ATP did not and does not have ghost employees. Rather, ATP had 80 employees. And it's all sort of stumbled through.
Because they're trying to read and react at the same time. The fix is to just read that section on ghost employees clean. No stop. ATP did not have ghost employees. Rather, ATP had 80 employees in FY23 and 108 in FY24. There was an inadvertent error in filing. Full stop.
Let the silence do some work.
Let it land. Then you add the commentary. This directly rebuts the fraud allegation with specific headcount number.
That's so much cleaner. It respects the listener's intelligence. It assumes they can handle 2 sentences of info without needing a wow thrown in.
It also helps the narrator. You mentioned the stumbling. When you try to improvise reactions mid-sentence, you just trip over your words. The script loses all rhythm.
So read, then react.
Read, then react. Don't multitask the narration.
Okay, so we've cleaned up the insults, we've structured the reading, but there is a massive detour in this script we have to talk about.
Ah, boy, I think I know where you're going.
Point 3, narrative focus and tangents. The whole JFK and Charlie Kirk assassination email anecdote toward the end.
That was quite a left turn.
Jarring is the word I'd use. You go from a really serious discussion about doxing Mr. Bauer, which is about real safety threats in legal issues, to mocking some crazy email about Charlie Kirk being assassinated.
The intent is clear, right? They want to show that Owens accepts unbelievable tips without checking. So they bring up this unbelievable tip they got. But the weakness is mixing a high-stakes legal battle with what sounds like conspiracy fanfiction just confuses everything.
It's a huge tonal clash. You've got cease and desist letters, courtroom language, and then suddenly we're in JFK land. It makes the serious accusation, the doxing, feel less serious just by being next to it.
There's an even deeper problem, too. A paradox, almost. The narrator says something like, some guy sent me an email claiming he knows who killed JFK, and he gave me a tip about Charlie's assassination, which fully checks out. And then they say, I know it sounds crazy.
Wait, hang on. They say the tip fully checks out?
Yes, and that is a rhetorical trap. By claiming you have a secret tip about an assassination that checks out based on a random email, you are doing the exact same kind of conspiracy thinking you're accusing Owens of.
Oh, wow. I hadn't thought of it that way. But you're right, it's a mirror image.
She believes crazy emails, but my crazy email is real.
About knowing who killed JFK? I'm closing the tab. I just am, and no longer trust their judgment on anything else.
Exactly. So the suggestion here, and it's a harsh one, is cut it.
Just get rid of it.
Hard cut. It's bagged. If you absolutely have to keep it, you have to frame it so tightly as an example of confirmation bias. But honestly,
just cut the whole JFK Charlie Kirk section. Focus on the doxing of Mr. Bauer. That's what has real legal weight. It keeps the piece focused.
It's about discipline, right? Knowing what to leave out.
Especially here. You have a winning hand with the legal docs. Don't dilute a royal flush by throwing in a joker.
Okay, let's move to the final point. We've talked about the content. Let's talk about the audience.
The script really seems to assume the listener is already 100% on board with Turning Point. It completely misses the chance to persuade anyone who might be undecided.
It's classic preaching to the choir. You see a statement like, Turning Point showed more restraint than anyone could possibly ask for, and that shows up really early on.
Which, to a supporter, sounds like a fact, but to a neutral listener, that just sounds like an opinion.
It sounds like propaganda. If you lead with the conclusion, they were so restrained, before you show me any evidence, my guard immediately goes up. I start thinking, okay, this guy's biased.
So how do you prove restraint without just yelling, they were restrained?
You structure the whole thing as a timeline of escalation. You let the dates do the talking for you. You show the cause and effect that led to the legal action.
So give me an example of how that rewrite would sound.
Instead of starting with, they showed restraint, you start with the calendar. On December 28th, A video was posted alleging fraud. Then, the react. On January 8th, Turning Point responded with data refuting the ghost employee claim. Then the counter-react. Owens demanded a retainer.
And then the lawsuit follows from that.
Right. Then you can say something like, despite these allegations beginning months prior, Turning Point only took legal action after the specific doxing incident involving Mr. Bauer.
That's so much more powerful. You don't even have to use the word restraint. The timeline proves it. They waited. They waited until someone was doxed. The facts lead the listener to that conclusion on their own.
Exactly. Show, don't tell. If you tell me they're the good guys, I'm skeptical. If you show me they waited 3 months while being attacked, I start to feel that myself.
This also kind of touches on some of the other language, the more tribal stuff. There was a line, "Hell, we lost Charlie Kirk last year."
We lost him. Yeah, that phrasing assumes a deep insider connection. It assumes the listener is part of the we.
And if I'm just a casual observer and I hear "we lost Charlie," I instantly feel like I've walked into a private club meeting.
It alienates the potential convert. To make this script stronger, you have to strip out that tribal language. Just use objective descriptions. The goal of a piece like this should be to expand understanding, not just to circle the wagons.
Let's go back to that "oh dear" comment about the doxing for a second. The script says, "directed viewers to the home address of Mr. Bauer, which has resulted in threats to safety." Oh dear.
That's sarcasm again. It just minimizes how serious it is. Doxing is dangerous. Oh dear makes it sound like someone spilled their coffee.
It feels like the narrator is uncomfortable with the gravity of it, so they try to laugh it off.
Or they're just so irony poisoned by the internet they can't speak sincerely. But if you're making a legal case, you need gravity. That line should be something like, "The video directed viewers to the home address of Mr. Bauer. This resulted in immediate and credible threats to his safety." This is the specific action that triggered the legal response.
That justifies the lawsuit in one sentence. It frames it as a shield, not a sword.
And that's the narrative you want. A necessary consequence of dangerous behavior, not just some petty feud.
So what about the ending? The original script ends with, "I can't believe anyone takes this dingbat seriously anymore."
The dingbat finale? It just ends on a personal insult. It leaves a really sour taste and reduces the entire analysis to just, she's dumb.
It kind of undoes all the work the evidence just did.
It really does. A much stronger ending would circle back to the central thesis. Something like, given the documented filing errors, the clarification on employee numbers, and the dangerous nature of the doxing, the legal action appears to be a direct consequence of a refusal to retract proven falsehoods.
Summarizes the whole argument logically. It respects the listener.
Logic sticks. Insults fade.
So looking at this whole thing, the raw material is all there. The narrator has the documents, they have the passion.
It's a diamond in the rough for sure. The rough part is the emotional language, the chaotic structure, the weird tangents. Polishing it just means organizing the evidence and cooling the temperature.
It really is about shifting your mindset from content creator to something more like investigative journalist.
That's the perfect way to put it. A content creator wants engagement, so they use insults. A journalist wants truth, so they use structure. The script just needs to decide what it wants to be.
Okay, we've covered a lot. To recap, our critique focused on 4 main pillars here. First, tone. We need to get rid of the ad hominem attacks. No more sicko fans to build credibility.
Second, the presentation of evidence. We talked about that block and bridge method. Read the legal text, let it land, then give your commentary. No more reading and reacting at the same time.
Third, narrative focus. We're cutting the whole JFK, Charlie Kirk tangent. It dilutes the very serious legal claims and, frankly, undermines credibility.
And finally, audience assumption. We're going to use a timeline to prove restraint instead of just asserting it. Invite the skeptic in instead of pushing them away with tribal language.
We would invite the listener to take this script, apply these shifts seriously, try that block and bridge technique, and submit the new draft for a follow-up. We'd love to see this transform from a commentary into a really compelling legal breakdown.
Absolutely. I really want to see the documentary version of this script. The potential is all there.
Keep refining your work.
And keep challenging your own biases.
Goodbye.
See ya.